So this is the top 5 things that's ruining the African American culture and just ruining the community in general. You guys like this video, drop a comment and share it if you agree. So I say the number one thing is the parenting or the lack thereof parenting. And I'm just going to say, for the sake of the time of this video, it's whoever is responsible for this child, whether it's the mom or the dad. Like, it's their responsibility to raise this kid into an adult. It's their responsibility to know where their kid is when they're 12, 13, 14, and 15. There's no reason why your kid's running the streets out here doing God knows what. That's your responsibility. If the other parent walked out on you or whatever, left you, abandoning you, you signed up to be responsible for this child. If you can't deal with it, then you probably need to go and give this child to, foster care or someone else who will be a responsible adult. And then, and they need to go back to old grandma's parenting, back when baby boomers were the parents, like that. They need to bring that back because society, the community in a whole was doing a lot better as far as the parenting goes. You guys can take that, do what you want with it. But number 2 would be the gun violence. The gun violence is out of control, and a lot of it's to do with the parenting. You have a bunch of teenagers killing other teenagers because neither one of their parents know where they are. And I'm not saying like the 17-year-old, I'm talking about more 14, 15, 13. Like, there's no reason a 13-year-old is running around these streets. Like, something's got to change in that household. Something's going on if your 13-year-old is running around with a gun. So yeah, that gun violence, they're not taking the guns off the street. So we're going to have to do something, or, these parents are going to have to be better parents. Number 3, if we can live, if the community can survive the gun violence and all of that, financial literacy, not the bad spending habits, going out buying nothing but Jordans and, name brand clothing. And I feel like sometimes it's the parents are giving these kids habits because, that's all they buy them is name brand stuff. And then when this kid gets an adult, if they're not doing well for themselves or their parents don't have businesses so they can come work for them, then they're spending all their paychecks on looking nice and continuing this habit that their parent had given to them as a child. And number 4, I'd say the horrible influences in the community. Like, back in my day, we had Family Matters, we had Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and in those, they were episodes where a kid gets caught doing drugs in school or something, and everybody's just so embarrassed, and like they're like, nodding their head like, that's just horrible that you're doing this. Nowadays, you got Greenleaf. The kids are sniffing stuff in the bathroom. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just like, horrible influence. You got the Snowfall, the Power, that I know the TV show The Chi is supposed to be showing you a realistic look of Chicago and stuff, but even those, I just feel like the TV and all of that is just horrible. It's a bunch of garbage. The music industry, we got the Sexy Reds, the Ice Spices, all they teaching is twerking now. We didn't have that. The music was getting a little, sexual when I'm a millennial. So when I was growing up, the music was a little bit sexual, but right now they're just like, eventually, about 10 years from now, they'll just be walking around full butt naked. You know what I mean? That's basically like all the rappers, most of the rappers, because there are rappers that are not pushed and they are not sexualizing themselves in their songs. And that's why they're not pushed to everybody. But we know who's in control of that. But I feel like a lot of these things are population control, especially the gun violence. Like, that's why they're not taking away the guns. It's like, Black people are kind of eliminating themselves because there's so many. You can get a gun, whether it's a legal gun or illegal gun. It does not matter. Who's making these guns? How are they getting made? Who's creating them? We already know that. So I feel like that the horrible influences. We got the Krishan rocks. It's just crazy. Like, they make anybody famous. That's really poisonous to the community. And then number 5, I'm thinking it's soul food and just what people consume. The obesity rate is super high. It's causing hypertension. It's causing diabetes. The list goes on. And I feel like it's, that's the food. But it's like, when you come out of slavery, you come out of Jim Crow, you're just trying to get a good meal. And this is what this is what you eat. And it's a generational thing because most of the time, it's generation. You eat the food that your parents cooked and you teach your kids how to cook. It's up to everybody who wants to, change. It's up to you to look up new recipes and stop eating, Thanksgiving food all week. You know what I mean? There's no reason why you're making Thanksgiving food in the middle of the month. even though that's how people eat, But you guys drop a comment on this list if you think, if you think of other things, drop a comment. But I really think that these are the top 5 things. And also, I'll make a part 2 because there's a lot of other stuff, and I can go into detail with the 5 things that I listed, because I feel like if those things were taken care of, the community would be better. Like, I like like during Jim Crow, I feel like the community was more of a community, and it was, they cared about Black life, other Black people. You know what I mean? Like, it's like at this point, people don't really care unless it's a police officer killing someone Black. Like, you're not giving them the same type of energy if it's a 17-year-old killing a 15-year-old on purpose, like hunting this boy down and killing him. So yeah, and